A voter registration initiative from the United Indian Nations of Oklahoma, a new report on the state's rural roads and bridges, and one school district's response to increased threats of violence. This is the KGOU AM News Brief for Friday, September 20th. I'm Hannah France. The United Indian Nations of Oklahoma is launching a statewide initiative to increase Native voter registration. OPMX's Katie Hallam has details.
Funded by a grant from the National Congress of American Indians, the UINO is launching the Warrior Up to Vote campaign. Visiting tribal nations, complexes, and headquarters across Oklahoma, the group's goal is to provide voter registration and candidate information. The tour will culminate into mass registration drives in both Oklahoma City and Tulsa. The initiative's highlight event will be a tribal sovereignty symposium and candidate forum at Muskogee Nation's Riverwind Spirit Casino in Tulsa. Event organizers say the tour is a bipartisan effort meant to inform Indigenous communities about Native policies and legislation and increase the number of Native American voters across the state. The event kicks off September 23rd and ends October 5th. In Oklahoma City, I'm Katie Hallam.
A new report shows Oklahoma's rural roads and bridges have a high fatality rate, and nearly a third of them are in less than stellar condition. OPMX's Anna Pope has more.
8% of Oklahoma's rural roads and bridges are in poor or structurally deficient condition, and another 20% of rural roads are in mediocre condition, according to a report from TRIP, a national transportation research nonprofit. Rocky Moretti, the nonprofit's research and policy director, says Oklahoma's traffic fatality rate on non-interstate rural roads is nearly twice as high as on other roads in the state.
So clearly, significant additional work needs to occur to keep people safer on Oklahoma's rural roads, largely on two-lane rural roads.
Moretti says rural roadways are vital, and funding efforts like the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act have been critical to improve them. But challenges like aging infrastructure and inflation pose problems. In Oklahoma City, I'm Anna Pope.
Oklahoma schools are seeing an uptick in threats of violence. State Impact's Beth Wallace reports the state's largest traditional public school district is implementing new safety measures to keep students safe.
Across the state, dozens of schools are receiving threats of violence, causing in some instances cancellations of classes or lockdowns. The Oklahoma City Police Department says 65 threats have been made in the metro area since the school year began, and it has submitted felony charges against suspects. A spokesperson for Tulsa Public Schools told State Impact threats have been received at a majority of secondary sites. Beginning after fall break, TPS says it will implement bag checks, wanding, and walk-through detectors every day at middle and high schools. Tulsa Police Chief Dennis Larson says individuals making threats can expect consequences.
We will act on it, we will investigate it, and we will prosecute.
You can report suspicious activity on the Protect OK app or by texting OKS threat to 226787. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
You can find more Oklahoma news on our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU AM News Brief podcast.
The candidates for November are set.
I know Donald Trump's type.
Between now and Election Day,
we are not going back.
A campaign season unfolding faster.
Kamala Harris is not getting a promotion
Than any in recent history.
Make America great again.
Follow it all with new episodes every weekday on the NPR Politics Podcast.